Welcome to the Brown Bears Football Report with head coach James Perry. Now, here is your host, Scott Cordischi.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the James Perry Show here on AM 790 WPRV and on Facebook Live. We are live once again here at Hope Street Pizza on the east side of Providence, and we'll be here for the next 60 minutes talking Brown Bears football with you. The opening segment of the James Perry Show brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, providing exceptional service and financial solutions for our community since 1851. Visit baycoast.bank to learn more. Well, it gives me great pleasure right now to welcome to the show my color analyst here on AM 790 The Score, who handled the play-by-play in the season opener with his son, John Anderson III. John Anderson Jr. How you doing, John?
Hey, I'm doing real good today. How about you, Scott?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being with us. Let's say hello to the head coach of the Brown Bears, James Perry. Coach, how are you tonight?
Great, Scott. Great.
Well, it's great.
Just real quick, John. Just so you know, we went down memory lane, and your son.
Scott, you got me.
Clips on from your son. Kicking some butt out there, so try to motivate the D-line. So that was on the reel this week.
Oh, I'm going to have to tell him that. That's good. I remember that play, under the lights.
Maybe highlights from the 2010 game?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Third down and one, was it? A fourth
That's
and
it.
one?
You got it. Good memory.
Yeah, broke through.
As a matter of fact, John the Third, I believe, is also on the wall in the team room, the Paul Sloan team room as well.
Absolutely is.
Right?
That's number 50, yeah.
That's right.
He loved being up in the booth. He's going to do the home games, though. But had a lot of great things to say about you, Coach.
Right.
Yeah,
can't
you
hear it,
coached
man.
when he played, right?
Yeah.
You were quarterback's coach.
Yeah. Terrific player. Great kid.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, let's recap the season opener. And first of all, I just want to say this, and John, I know you can attest to that. Great atmosphere at Brown Stadium on Saturday. I think fans are just so excited to be back out there, to see Brown football back on the field. Of course, the dedication of the new Richard Gauss Field at Brown Stadium and all the to-do with that. It was a great day for a college football game, Coach.
Yeah, and I was really appreciative. The student body was loud. It was in full force. That was great to see. We have a terrific cheerleading crew and the band. It was really the pageantry of college football was on full display.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, they all stayed to the end, too, which was really great to see.
Yep.
Didn't matter what the outcome was. It was good to see a full house right to the end.
No doubt.
And, Coach, what a start to the football game for your team. So you win the coin toss, you defer to the second half. Your defense comes on the field, bam, they hold the roadie to 3 and out. The Rams punt it, and then EJ and the offense come onto the field. They march 60 yards on 9 plays, and they score on this pass from EJ Perry to Hayes Sutton. I'm not sure if we have the highlight. Maybe we don't have the highlight queued up back at the station. Okay. You'll have to take my word for it. You saw that film. You know what happened.
Yeah, and that was a great drive. I think.
Pass by E.J. Perry to complete the drive. Hayes Sutton, once again, he is the returning leading receiver for these Bears, and Perry put that football high enough where Sutton could go get it over the defender. He gets his feet down. That's a great catch and a great start to the 2021 campaign for the Brown Bears offense.
Absolutely. That was Nick Coy.
Oh, that was Nick doing it.
But
Okay.
It was a great pass. I mean, there wasn't a lot of room to fit that football in, and EJ did a nice job, and Hayes made a great catch.
Yeah, and spatially, he knew where the sideline was, got his feet down. He's had a really good training camp. He's a freshman who played a lot of football for us. Now he's a junior. He's practicing like a junior. And he had another great week of practice this week, so I'm happy to see that.
He had some strong hands, though, Coach, throughout the game.
Yep, and he's a strong kid, too. He's put together
hands.
really well. Strong hands, strong kid.
And, Coach, I mean, that type of start is exactly what you want, right? Defense goes out there, does its job, and then the offense goes out there and puts 7 on the board. Nice way to start things off.
No doubt. And I think for us, physical, too. There were some key moments where the offensive line played really well. Defensively, they got their stop. So, yeah, I mean, that's the Brown football we want to play.
And you know what I loved about that drive, and you said it was 68 plays. When you had to move the chains, you moved the chains.
Yep.
Follow me? We were moving the chain. It wasn't like we had a bomb and we get down to the 10-yard line and now we had a couple plays and we broke a defense up. No, we systematically moved down the field. Third down conversions, chains were being moved, plays were being called. A lot of good rhythm, I thought, in that offensive first series.
Yep. In the schematic that we play, efficiency drives the bus. So when you weigh explosive plays and efficiency. Everybody wants both, but we put emphasis on the efficiency end of it. So that's a good point.
So on the play before the touchdown pass to Sutton, EJ was pressured, rolling out to his right. It looked to me like he was just ready to throw the ball away and live to see another down, 3rd down and 6. He threaded one in to Zach Targoff, and I was like, wow. I didn't even know he was trying to make a play on that particular play. Yeah. That was a terrific play, if you remember that one as well.
Yeah, and Zach's another guy. You know, he unlike Hayes, did not play. So he's playing his first football, but he is really practicing well. And I expect him to have a good season, given how hard he's practicing.
So the Rams would score 17 unanswered points, but then the Bears would strike again, ending a nice 15-play, 83-yard drive with Alan Smith's 3-yard touchdown run.
2nd down, goal to go, Brown. They have it at the Ram 3.
A lot of trust in the quarterback there, too.
Smith and Such both in. The 2 running backs to the left of Perry. Handoff to Smith, running right, end zone, touchdown Bears.
Great job by the offensive line again. Opens up a hole on the right side, and Alan Smith is in. That's a great response by the Bears.
And, Coach, you guys ran the ball well. I mean, 201 yards gross 190 yards net, but you average 5 yards per carry on 38 carries, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we distributed the ball in the run game is kind of how we want to do it. And then there you're seeing our featured back and captain and Alan Smith, and he's a very strong runner. Guy in those hard yard situations who can do a terrific job.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the offensive line once again came out on another series and answered the bell. I thought that touchdown was a big, big touchdown in the game because obviously, as Scott had just mentioned, 17 points. We're down 17-7, and where were we going to go from there? Experienced quarterback, a lot of young guys out there. Where was this momentum? As we talked last week. Are we setting the pace in the game, or are we going to take the pace away? And honestly, coming down and making that score, I thought was a huge score going into halftime.
Yeah, it was, and I think it was reflective in the actual game score. Right before half, they backed us up. We were able to move the ball away from the inch line, at least change field position. The defense handled the end of half really well, 17-14, and you're getting the ball in the second half. And those are reflections of progress we've made. And then when you just start turning the ball over like crazy, nothing's going to work. But I think there's a lot of positives to take away from the situation where you're sitting 17-14 against an excellent Rhode Island football team, and you've got the ball in the second half.
James, last week you talked on your show about how you had some young guys chomping at the bit and pushing some of the upperclassmen for playing time. And since we're talking about the running game, we saw Jordan Lucia come in and do a nice job for you in the second half of that game.
Yeah, Jordan's a hungry kid. He, the minute we got him into training camp, we knew this is a guy who's going to fight to get on that practice, get on that field on game day. You never predict that it's going to happen quite this fast. It's a reflection of his ability and work ethic, and it was nice to see him kind of not flinch at home first game.
So 17-14 was the halftime score. The Rams would up the lead to 24-14 early in the third, and that's when senior safety Clay Perrin came up with this big defensive play.
2nd down, 14. The Rams have it at the Brown 45 after the holding penalty. And the snap to Robinson. He's going to fire down the middle of the field. Overthrown and intercepted. Picked off by Clay Perrin.
Clay Perrin, one of the experienced guys in the secondary. Right place, right time.
Yep, good job there by Clay. The ball was a little bit overthrown, and he was right there on the spot to make the pick for your D.
And we talk about doing your own job, and Clayton's an older guy, and that's a great example of it. He's doing his job, and he's doing a terrific job of it. The guys up front, got to put pressure on the quarterback. Guys got to cover people, so then all of a sudden you can put the ball in the air and then break on it like Clayton did. And often everybody wants to see the singular effort on a turnover, but it's usually the defense just collectively playing well, and that was a good example of it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was in the right place at the right time, but it was good defensive pressure too.
Yep.
Last week we talked about your freshman place kicker, Christopher Marin, and in the fourth quarter you had a 69-yard drive that would stall at the Rhodey 16, and that is when Marin booted his first collegiate field goal from 23 yards out.
So the field goal attempt for Christopher Marin, the freshman from Western Florida, the first of his career. Good snap. McGovern with the hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 10:03 to go here in the fourth quarter, it is URI 38 and Brown 17.
So, like I said, I had a chance to see this young man in practice quite a bit this summer, and he's got quite a leg. So I think he's got a nice future for you, Coach, in the kicking game, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some good kickers, certainly here at Brown. We've got a good tradition of terrific kickers, and, we hope as a freshman he fits that bill. And he's a kid who's done it in practice. Now he did it against Rhode Island, so hopefully he keeps it going this week against Harvard.
Yeah, no, it was good to see him come in as a freshman and not feel, there's obviously pressure, but he made some really good kicks, and his kicks were good kicks.
Yeah, and
it wasn't like
kicked it off well, too.
Just as important, right? The battle of field position. He's kicking into the end zone.
Out of league, you kick from the 35, and he's still putting it that deep.
Yep.
You add 5 yards to it in league. I mean, he's really blasting that ball in a very consistent manner. So that's a tremendous weapon for Darryl Jackson, our special teams coordinator.
Interesting question now that you bring that up, because in the Ivy League we kick from the 40, right?
Yep.
So it's easy for a lot of these guys, Christopher included, to just kick it through the end zone, and then the other team starts to drive at the 25. And then there's some, and I know sometimes you'll see Belichick and the Patriots do this, they'll try to pooch it down by the goal line, kind of a high kick, to give the coverman time to go down, see if he can pin them inside the 25. What are your thoughts on that? And are there times or
So in the collegiate game, it's a little different in the pros, because in the collegiate game you get it to 25.
Right.
So our rule really defeats that for the most part. If you're going to truly scud the ball, which would be an effort to actually get it recovered, you might find a hole in the defense, the return team that would allow that. Typically, the kid will just fair catch it in the college game. So once they accompanied the rule of the fair catch, you're just going to stick it on the 25. So we're just, most people, our opponents too, I'm not giving away trade secrets here, are going to, if you can blast it out the end zone, blast it away.
Right. When I look at this game, Coach, and I look at certain statistics, and I roll them over, and I was talking to Scott, 17 first downs to 12, 544 total offense to 400, 36 minutes to 22 minutes. If you looked at some of these statistics, you would have said, wow, this game was a lot closer than what the score, showed us at the end. And then when you look at that, and people look at that, well, a 45-24 game, what is? When I look at it, I say, wait a minute. We have a good football team. We lost a turnover battle. Anytime you lose a turnover battle in football, things can't go your way. You follow me? And when we do that, other things can happen. So when you look at that one factor in this game, to me, that and the big play, because if you look at a couple of the touchdowns were big plays. An interception for 100-something yards, a big bomb to the tight end, on a broken coverage, 2 broken coverages. So when you surround those 4 or 5 plays and you pull them out of this game, we are really a much improved fighting team. And I saw the fight at the end when the game was kind of out of touch and the guy picks off a pass, he's going all the way. Not one guy stopped hustling to try to make that tackle. They could have pulled up at the 20. They could have pulled up at the 30. And, I said to my son, I said, look at that grit out there right now. They aren't giving up, even though this game is over at that point. Follow me?
Yeah, and the film really bared that out. It felt like we had played a very physical football game. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes it feels a certain way, and then on Sunday you're like, oh, man, But we had, defensively in particular. And up front, offensively in particular. So those two facets of the game, we played very physically on defense. We played it physically up front on offense. To me, that's a tremendous step in the right direction. What kind of hurt me was these guys practiced their tails off, and when you turn the ball over 4-1, it's crazy against a good football team. So we looked at it as coaches. What can we do to emphasize that this week so that never happens again? What can we do to correct that? Because these kids are working hard, and we're hitting. And so I'm really excited about watching them, whether it's this Friday or heck, just being able to work with this team, because they respond really well, and I'm sure they'll respond well to the emphasis on turnover.
Yeah, John, as you and I talked about, I think 24 of Rhode Island's points came off of turnovers, right? And the margin in the game was 21. And look, sometimes you can lose a turnover battle and win a football game, but more often than not, that's one of the most indicative stats to determine the outcome of the game, right? Who wins the turnover battle.
Today's a big self-scouting stat day, but if you can find so we looked inward and we always every Thursday do a lot of self-scout. But if you can find a 4-1 game where you win, let me know.
Okay, the only one I could think of, and I don't know if it was 4-1.
I was going to say the same, Coach. Let me know too.
Ready? The season opener for Tampa Bay. I know they had 3 or 4 turnovers.
Don't say it.
But
we
they also have Tom Brady.
Yeah, we have some players here, Scott. Don't even mention it. They're hearing the exact opposite.
They have Tom Brady though, but we have E.J. Perry.
That's right. That's right. All right. So with a minute and a half to go, the Bears would find the end zone one more time. This time on a pass from E.J. Perry to Wes Rocket.
4th down goal to go. Brown from the Rhode Island 6. Perry gets the snap, looking end zone, firing, caught, touchdown, West Rocket.
And there you go. You finish off a touchdown drive if you're Brown. Again, that's a good way to go into the next week.
Yep, absolutely. And it just goes back to what you said, John. No quitting this team, fighting till the final, second.
Yeah, it was an excellent drive. Yep. Actually, we mixed run pass. The kids, 100% were battling to the very end. And on that particular play, you can see that there. EJ bought some time. The line bought some time for him. He threw a nice pass, and Wes made a terrific catch there.
What was it like playing on the new Richard Gauss Field at Brown Stadium, that new surface? Was it fast as you like it?
Well, I got 2 calls after the game. I had a chance to hang out with Richard a little bit and was so grateful for his generosity. And then I got a call from Paul Choquette, who was impressed by how physical our guys played. And he said, you know what I noticed? There were no groins or hamstrings or or ankles. Really was. It's a beautiful surface. It's the most state-of-the-art thing you can play on. It fits who we are very well, and it looked really sharp.
James, if Paul Choquette said he noticed how tough your kids were playing,
that's right.
They were playing tough because they didn't get any tougher than him when he played at Brown.
Yeah, and I needed a little boost, so it was a nice call.
Yeah.
You could say that.
Yeah. It looked great from up in the stands, up in the press box. It looked great on TV. So it's just great to have that beautiful new field at Brown Stadium. All right, Coach, we're going to let you go. Your wife, Abby, and 2 of your 3 kids are here. Right. Sam's got football practice. He couldn't make it.
Little Cowboys.
Why don't you go enjoy a little dinner here at Hope Street Pizza, and when we come back, we'll be joined by a couple of your players. We'll take a break on the James Perry Show. Back with more from Hope Street Pizza right after this.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others. Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I am incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person. We love Rhode Island, we're living here, we're raising our families here.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others. Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I'm incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
WPRV and Facebook Live. We are broadcasting live from Hope Street Pizza here on the east side of Providence. And this portion of the James Perry Show brought to you by Rhode Island Medical Imaging. Rhode Island Medical Imaging is the official MRI provider of Brown football with 13 locations statewide. Remy specialized radiologists and patient-focused care are in your neighborhood. Well, it gives us great pleasure to welcome to the James Perry Show a pair of juniors on this year's team. Linebacker Malcolm Brunson is with us. Malcolm, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being with us. And fellow junior, a wide receiver on the offensive side of things, Wes Rocket. Wes, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me as well.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Just a quick thought on the opener. Obviously, you guys hadn't played football in almost 2 years, so probably knocking off a little of the rust. I know that's no excuse, but what was it like just to be back out there? You guys had to be thrilled to be back out there playing a game for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah, I can start for you, Malcolm. Much anticipated. We're all just pumped to get out there again with the guys. It's been, 65 days since the last time we got out there, and it's just another level of competition, and you're sweating and just grinding out games that you just haven't had for that long. So it's just really great to just, like you said, not only knock up the rust, but just get our legs back under us, just getting firing, and it's really hard to replicate that through practice and stuff like that. We do the best we can, and it's just awesome to be back out there with everybody and just fighting it out.
Yeah. And Malcolm, I know you guys did scrimmage Yale, but other than that, nice to hit somebody else than your teammates, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a surreal feeling finally being able to get back out there with the guys. I definitely agree with Wes on that one.
A little louder.
Weird having a game day because we just hadn't had it in so long. It was a lot of guys' first year ever not playing football, so it was definitely a great time to we were really excited to get out there and show what we had to do. So.
Well, I got a couple of questions. One, I said this earlier to Wes. I got to apologize on the radio. I initially called him Wes Walker, and then I got corrected by my son. It's Wes Rocket. I mean, what a football name, though. As we talked about,
Wesley Walker was a receiver for the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. That predates these guys, but I remember Wesley Walker.
The biggest thing for me, and I looked at it as we were going into it, how the Bears were going to face themselves physically. As a key to this game. They haven't played in 665, and we talked about it a little bit. There were no hamstrings, no guys cramping up. I mean, talk to us about your conditioning going into the game.
Yeah, I mean, the coaches no doubt get us ready to play. Whether it's game day, whether it's a Tuesday, whether it's a Wednesday, we're always ready to go. And that's credit to our coaching staff as well as our strength and conditioning coaches in the off season, as long of an off season as it was, just getting us ready to go and having us in the best shape of our lives. We're getting all the feedback we can get in the off season, like in the summer leading up to the season, and just getting us firing, getting us strong, getting us bigger, faster, and I think we all bought into that, and we're buying into it as we speak, and we're just ready to go.
Malcolm, what on the defensive side, and I noticed that, there was no injuries really, and let's be realistic, on defense it's hit or be hit. So you got to be coming up, and you don't know where the offense is going. You're taking on blocks, you're making tackles, you're in the fracas of the piles, and, a lot can happen in that, especially when you haven't played in 665 days.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a testament to the practice style that Coach Perry has implemented. Everything we do is 1,000% every single day except one day a week. So, I mean, without that kind of practice style, I don't think we would have played the way that we did. But with that kind of practice style, we're used to it, so everything feels like a game in practice to us. So it really isn't much of a difference when we get out there.
Let me ask you guys just to each a question, offensive side, defensive side. Wes, on the offensive side, what do you take away from the URI game as you head towards Harvard? What do you guys take away as an offensive team?
Just keep playing hard, keep playing fast. The execution was there. We can see it on the film. A few turnovers, a few mistakes here and there, but that's going to happen early on in the season. We just need to get back in the film room, get on the field and execute, fix the things we need to fix, and just slam Harvard in the face.
What are you thinking, Malcolm? You're going into a Harvard game. Champlin, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. They rushed for over 344 yards. Big-time run team. You know that they're running north-south. They're coming downhill. What do you take away from URI and as you head towards Harvard?
Yeah, so from URI, we definitely it's really just going to come down to execution, making sure we're always dialed in 100% of the time. No breakdowns, no letdowns, communication. So we really just want to take that over to next week and continue to build on that, and we should be all right.
So, guys, tell me, the pandemic, right? We talked about not having a game in 665 days. I mean, fortunately, like last spring, you were able to get some workouts in, and but what was it? What did you do during that long time off from football? Malcolm, as you said, first time that most of you missed a season of football. What were you doing to stay in shape? What were some of the things you did to stay in shape mentally and physically?
Yeah, well, honestly, we pretty much did everything that we usually do. We just didn't have a season. So we were in the weight room lifting. We were out there conditioning. We treated it like it was a season, although we didn't actually play. So besides not having games, everything else was the same for us. So in that regard, it wasn't really too much of a difficulty to get ready to get in game shape and be able to play out there.
Yeah, another thing I could add is just throughout the whole process, big motto and mantra for us was Advantage Brown. So, we put more restrictions here, restrictions there. The school does what they do, and it's just Advantage Brown. And we just take it, we handle it, we respond to the adversity, and we just keep getting after it, whether it's in the weight room, like Malcolm said, or on the field, or we can't use a football. We're just Advantage Brown. Just take it and hit it and go.
How does it feel to, be freshmen? Obviously, you guys saw some action as freshmen.
Yeah, both of them played a lot.
Yeah, you saw action, and now all of a sudden, we look at the roster and you're juniors, okay, obviously, and that's a leadership role. I mean, without that season in between, and obviously you're leaders on both sides of the ball, and talk to us about that.
I can tell you something. I had, the all-time best senior leadership that I could ever imagine. I had 5 seniors, I believe, ahead of me. When I was a freshman, Spencer Hemingway, LJ, Prawl, Dimitri Jackson,
Boylan,
Scotty Boylan, who's now gone, Dan Gemmel. It's just a bunch of guys that have been there, knew it, saw 3 different coaching staffs. So they knew how to respond, how to react to adversity. And so I was kind of, I wouldn't say, I'd say just ready for it because they got me ready for it. And just something like that, it's so big to have those guys that you can just look up to, you can respond to. And somebody like me, Hayes, Zach Targoff, Allen Houston, Chris Diallo, we're all now thrust into that role. Right. And it's like nothing anymore. You know what I mean? It's just do what those guys did to us when we were freshmen and just try to be those guys for them.
Malcolm, how about you?
Yeah, I think because of our team, we're so close-knit and we're really just like a big family. It doesn't really make it too hard to lead, especially when you have everyone that is bought into the idea of winning and doing whatever we need to do to win and to be able to put ourselves in the best position. So with that family-like atmosphere, it hasn't been too hard to really be able to lead and for everybody to follow.
You know, I don't know what your expectations were coming in, but, you know, you started almost right away as a freshman. In fact, you were fourth on the team in tackles 2 years ago. You had some real big games. I think the Columbia game, you had a team-high 9 tackles in that game. But what were your expectations when you came to Brown as a freshman in terms of, you know, how quickly can I get on the field and help this team?
You know, I didn't really know what to expect. You know, when you go into college, that's something just completely different. But I just knew I wanted to come in and play as hard as I could every single chance that I got. And, you know, through hard work and perseverance, eventually you will be able to move up. And like Coach Perry says, the guys that go out there and give it their all every single time, you will be given a chance to play. So that's pretty much just the mindset I came in, just every chance I get to just play as hard as physically possible I could do.
And you know, I can say that, I mean, you know, that last pick six that went the distance over 100 yards, I had said to Coach before that no one on that team, on the offensive team, gave up. I mean, could have pulled up at the 30, 20. I mean, the kid was going, but no one pulled up. They ran it all the way back as if they were going to try to make that play. And that was a good testament to the team in terms of their hustle. And every player was still on the sidelines, the guys that don't play, standing, you know, watching and cheering all the way to the end of that football game where, you know, sometimes in the past, guys would be faltering back to the benches, but everyone was attentive to that game.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say I'm glad that you can take something like that away from that game because we had so many positives in that game, and that's something we see day after day at practice. Just finishing the run, we always say catch and burst, catch, tuck, knife. They're pursuing on defense, they're pursuing the ball endlessly, 30 yards downfield. So we ingrain that stuff into our practices and into our locker room, through our coaching staff, through our strength and conditioning coaches, and that's the stuff you'll see on the field. And that's what we're trying to bring Brown football back, trying to bring that tough mentality back, but also just play fast, you know, and score some points.
Well, let me just ask you guys this question, and we can't give away game plans, so I always say that because that would really get Coach mad, and I don't want to do that and things. But, you know, we're going up to Harvard. It's a Friday night. There's nothing better than that. I mean, you guys are going to have that drive up 95, you know, on the bus, you know, great 45 minutes of getting your mind set and then get on that field. And there's nothing better than beating Harvard in a night game, especially at Harvard. What do you think offensively, and then we'll talk to you, Malcolm, defensively, we got to do to pull a victory off Friday night?
I can keep this one brief. We know what they do, so let's do what we do.
We just got to execute. It'll be all right. Everything else will take care of itself.
Okay.
So, Wes, you're a local kid of sorts from not too far from Providence. You went to St. John's Prep. You're from Marblehead, Massachusetts, so the North Shore of Massachusetts, just north of Boston for those who don't know. How'd you wind up here at Brown?
Yeah, so it's always kind of been a destination in mind. Great Ivy League school. It's local enough, far enough from my parents that I'm not in their backyard. But like we were talking about earlier, Will Quigley went here, and he came from Marblehead High School, so I always looked up to him as a kid.
Yep.
I think he's 6 years or so difference from me, so I've always looked up to him. He was an absolute stud in high school at Marblehead High School, so I'm still going to the games. I'm not at the prep yet. So I kind of watched him blossom into not only a great football player, but a great guy, a great leader in our community, and has a great career as we speak. So something like that, and then you just have coaches in high school like Coach St. Pierre, and just people trying to help you out, pull for you. I had 2 older brothers that also went through the process, so just keep your options open. And Coach Perry came to me, and it must have been the first sentence. I was like, "Damn, this guy loves football, and I love football." And this is going to be a match made in heaven, and it has been since.
Did you have any idea what he was all about offensively? I mean, that had to, if you didn't or you did, that had to help make your decision easy as well.
I think that might have been the content of that first sentence. Yeah. We're playing fast, and he was just like super amped, and I was like, God, I love this. And that's just the kind of guy I want to be playing under, you know?
You know, Scott and I get the I guess I don't know what the right word is, but the pleasure of calling, you know, Will Quigley. And when I saw you come out and play, and then I noticed you were from Marblehead, I said, I don't know what's in the water. Tough kids playing tough. I mean, Will was playing with a hand that was broken in one game.
I want to say.
I watched your style of play, and I was like, I don't know what's in the water up there. I know it's the ocean, but and his father's like a part-time lobsterman
who's an attorney on the side.
I mean, tough kids playing tough
Correct
football.
me if I'm wrong, John. I think it was Will's last game of his career at Columbia.
Yep.
He had an interception in the end zone to seal the victory.
Yes,
Columbia was driving for what would have been a go-ahead or game-winning touchdown.
It was.
Quigley came up with a pick in the end zone.
He did. Yep. That was it.
Total stud. Great
Malcolm,
guy.
Plainfield, New Jersey to Providence, Rhode Island. How'd you wind up at Brown?
I came on my official at Brown, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely the place for me. It actually happened that Coach Perry used to coach at Princeton. I went to the Hunt School of Princeton, so my high school coach had kind of knew him. And he told me Coach Perry was really fiery. I met him for the first time. I was like, I don't really know if he's too fiery. And then he gave a speech in a room full of parents, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's fiery. And you could really, like Rocket said, you could really see his love for football, his love for the game, and really his love for Brown. Honestly, I don't know anyone else who loves Brown as much as Coach Perry does. I hope I get there. I do love Brown, but I don't think I'll ever get to his level.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so that's how I ended up coming to Brown.
So were you maybe a year behind Desmond Cambridge at the Hun School?
Yes. When I was a sophomore, he was a senior.
Okay, 2 years behind.
2 years
What
behind.
a heck of a basketball player. He came
could
here to
jump out the
Brown, and
building.
then he ended up transferring to Nevada. But, wow, what an athlete.
Yeah, he could jump out the building.
Yes, he can.
What people don't realize is that, Malcolm, to play as much as he did at the linebacker spot in the Ivy League as a freshman, that's quite an accomplishment. I mean, to step from a high school and then get into, the defense of an Ivy League and, taking on linemen that have been, they're 22, big, strong, been in weight rooms. I mean, that's a testament to his athletic ability.
Sure, absolutely. So, guys, what did you think about the new field, the new playing surface? Richard Gauss Field at Brown Stadium. Like it?
Yeah, honestly, I love it. It's like a, I don't know, kind of like a cloud. It's really soft.
Yep.
I do miss the grass, though. I miss the grittiness of the grass. But I really do love the new field.
That big crown, though, in the old grass field. If you were going from the sideline to the middle of the field, you were running uphill.
Tell me about it.
You're right.
I played gunner on punt freshman year, and I went uphill a few times.
It probably affects the passing game more, right? Because if you're on the outside of the field and the ball is spotted between the hash marks, like you're a lot lower than the football.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like EJ's got to adjust his passing on a field that's crowned as opposed to the field turf.
Hey, advantage Brown.
Advantage Brown.
Let me ask you this, Wes. We talk about, your offensive side, but you tipped on it a little bit. Your all-purpose yards, I mean, you're doing punt return, you're on kickoff return. I mean, you're not really coming off the field unless it's the defense.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate the opportunity. Anytime your number's called, it's an honor, and then just trying to hold on the ball, keep the offense on the field, and just getting the ball going. If I pick up a first down for us on punt return, it is what it is. Just try to keep that ball and just try to execute. And if my number's called, like I said, just got to do what I got to do.
Maybe like a guy that was honored today and will be honored Sunday if you're going to the Patriots game, Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
Receiver for the Patriots, punt returns. He did some kick returns at times, whatever it takes, right?
He did it all.
So tell me what you two are concentrating in, and I know you have time to worry about this. You got a whole, another year, but what would you like to do? What can you see yourself doing after Brown? What's your concentration?
I do behavioral decision sciences. So it's like a psychology and economics mixture, but I'm doing my final thesis on concussions and the effect they have on decision making in the future. So I have no plans of having any job out of that as of right now, but the main goal is just try to get something I'm fired up about, I care about, something I'm interested in.
I don't know if you probably haven't heard this story, but years ago, so Rydell, the helmet you wear, so Dick Dresdale, who is a Brown graduate class of 77, used to be one of the owners of the Fenway Sports Group that owned Rydell. That was one of their holdings. I think they eventually divested themselves. But long story short, Rydell used Brown as a sample school to do a study on concussions with helmets. So they put sensors in our guys' helmets. This is when James Devlin played, right? So Jimmy was, class of 2010, I think?
Yeah, my son had those in his helmet.
Yeah. So, and what they would do is they'd take that data and they'd, determine, what it meant. So, like the average, I think, player would have maybe like
2 to 3, like what they consider high-impact collisions that the sensors picked up throughout the course of a game. Devlin, who was a defensive end for us, fullback in the NFL, averaged like 44 or 42 per game.
Oh.
He was an animal. And obviously he must have had a pretty hard head because he never once was concussed in his career at Brown.
And that threw the science off because they couldn't believe that someone had 44 and somebody had 1 or 2 and he had a concussion.
But I just thought that was interesting. Rydell actually did a study. I don't know, you could probably talk to our old trainer, Russ Fiore. I can hook you up with him if you want. If he'd be a guy that would help you in that study, I'll give you his phone number. Talk to him. He could probably give you some information on that.
Appreciate that very much.
So what's your concentration, Malcolm?
Yeah, so I'm majoring in urban studies with a focus on urban inequality in communities of color. And I'm thinking about going to law school after Brown. That's something that I've just recently been starting to think about, but I really think I could make a big change going to law school and be able to help people out that look like me, especially that come from environments like me as well.
So since you bring that up, talk to us a little bit about what your teammates, when we had one of them on last week, Nate Brown and Ryan Putman, did by initiating this organization that I know is near and dear to the football team's heart, Lead with Love.
Yeah, Lead with Love is definitely great. That started over summer of 2020 during the George Floyd situation, and that's when they decided to start something. And it's definitely been great. The kids love it. We talk to the kids. We do activities with them. We actually did a tie-dye day with them. And on the first game, I believe, everybody wore their tie-dye shirts that they had made with the kids. So the kids love it, and we're positive role models for them. So it's definitely just been a very humbling and heartwarming experience.
Well, let me ask you this then, Malcolm. If you're going to be a senior next year, and obviously you two West, and then you're going to graduate, can you come back another year because you missed your sophomore year to play, or is that just this year or are you guys grandfathered in for the future?
Would you have to take a spring semester off? How's that work?
Exactly.
But you do have another year of eligibility, even though you're not seniors that lost their time. Yeah. So you could come back. So you guys could come back and play two more seasons.
Yes.
Okay.
Given any thought to that? You don't have to give an answer now.
We're leading you in that direction.
Is it in the back of your mind?
Hey, I'd hope to be here as long as I can.
Hey, college, it's the best 4 years, or maybe in your case, 5 years of your life. Well, guys, thanks for joining us, and good luck tomorrow night against
Thank you very much.
Hey, guys, thank you so much, and give us something really exciting to call tomorrow night. We're looking for it.
Sounds good.
All right, Malcolm Brunson, Wes Rocket, our guest here in the James Perry Show. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more from Hope Street Pizza right after this.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others. Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I'm incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others. Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I'm incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
Mice hat.
Welcome back to the James Perry Show on AM 790 WPRB and on Facebook Live. We are at Hope Street Pizza here on the east side of Providence, and this portion of the program brought to you by Ticket Smarter. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter for all the best sports, concerts, and theater events. Visit Ticketsmarter.com or on the app. Ticket Smarter is proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace of Brown Athletics and Recreation. Ticket Smarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. Well, Coach Perry is back with us. And, Coach, before we get into Harvard, some of your coaches came out to the show tonight.
Yeah, and they're working hard. We actually were on a short week, so we've been working overtime all week long trying to get ready for Friday without the extra day. So, yeah, I'm glad to see him.
Great to see you. Got Coach Edwards there. You got Coach Marini and your two quality control assistants, correct?
St. Clair and Kyle, yep.
All right. Good stuff. So, Coach, the Harvard Crimson tomorrow night, somebody told me that you, in fact, I think it was Tim Gear, our new athletic communications assistant in charge of football, said that you said Harvard Stadium is truly one of your favorite places to play.
Yeah, and even my time in the ACC as a graduate assistant, there are few places that are a better venue to play than Harvard Stadium, and certainly under the lights Friday night, it'll be a fun game to be coaching, and even more fun game to be playing, I'm sure.
And, you know, we seem to churn out a big Brown contingency for this game. Every time we're on the road at Harvard, I would say it's a huge contingency that shows up for this football game.
Yep, and the well wishes are on the way. I know everyone's pumped. There's a lot of support for the program and our players, and no doubt they'll be there in full force.
Coach, I know you only worry about things you can control, but I've seen the forecast, and they're talking about possible rain or thunderstorms. Does that impact the game plan at all, or you just, look, both teams got to play in it, and you deal with it when it comes?
Yeah, you know, you've coached in that a few times. You've played in it a few times. I can remember one of my first games as a head coach was a lightning delay. So how you handle those things, you're always trying to look for what's the hidden advantage. Wes mentioned advantage Brown, right? We always look at obstacles and things like that as a potential advantage for us over our opponent. So whatever comes our way, we'll be ready for it.
You mentioned, John mentioned earlier, Aaron Champlin, very talented tailback, had a big game against the Hoyas in the season opener. 14 carries, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And even Bourget came in, 7 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. So it looks like
the Crimson like to run the football, and that's going to have to be obviously a focus of your defense, trying to slow that running game down.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very physical football team. I think one of the things that's nice about coaching this group of guys, for me, is we're physical. And there was no shortage of that last Saturday. We're going to have to execute. We're going to have to do things properly. But certainly it'll be a physical game. We're prepared for a physical game. And I don't think Harvard is going to deviate from that.
You know, a position that has always been a strength for Harvard, it seems, over the years, and you look at guys in the NFL, they've had a lot of good tight ends come through that program over the last decade or two, haven't they?
Yeah, tight ends and offensive linemen make for a good running recipe. And then you add a talented back like the two backs that they have to that equation, and you pose some people some headaches. So, we've worked hard to prepare for that. The kids will be excited to test where they're at against that. But yeah, they got another group of terrific offensive linemen and tight ends this year.
Yeah, John, you remember guys like Brait, Ferkser,
Brait.
just different guys like that.
It's they've always had those tough guys that can get open over the middle.
Juszczyk, you didn't even get
Juszczyk, you're right. Who's a fullback now for the Niners. He's H-back. He's outstanding, right?
I mean, when we look at it, I mean, they've had our number up there, obviously, for these last 9 years. I mean, what was it, 2010's the last time we beat Harvard? I think it's
that was
9.
Here, right?
It was 9. That was under the lights here. I mean, and obviously these guys were all young, and they don't even probably in 2010 they were all 10 years old. So they don't realize the excitement of it is. It's how do you get across to them? I mean, you've played in this game, you've coached in this game, you know this game, because you felt it. How do you get that across to these younger guys that this is such a game that you're going to look back and remember that game at Harvard Stadium under the lights.
Sure.
And if you knock them off and you beat them and you knock them off, it's going to be one of those ones you're talking about 20 years from now at the golf outing.
Sure, no doubt, right? And I think for us also, with a little bit of perspective, you start to realize how you get on top, right? And obviously I was here as an assistant. We were on top as a player. At Princeton, similar dynamic. And often coming from some tough spots. So, as you get old and you get all these gray hairs, and now that I'm old, I have that perspective, right? Seeing Princeton go from 1-9 to a championship team, the biggest thing to convey to the guys is it's how you practice, right? As long as you sustain practice effort, these big moments, like tomorrow's another big moment, right? Those big moments swing in your advantage. The minute you take your foot off the pedal, for us on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, then you have no chance on Fridays, right? Yeah. And with this group, we're so deep and they work so hard, they've given themselves a chance. And through those efforts, and tomorrow it's more just about cutting it loose and like you said, playing in a unique environment. And anytime you play a game, we only get 10 of them. They're all once-in-a-lifetime deals for us.
Hard not to respect the job that Tim Murphy's done in his years at Harvard, right? 179 wins. He just tied Carm Koza from Yale for most wins as an Ivy football coach. He's really done a good job. I mean, he's built a terrific program up there, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's done a terrific job. And, he's done it the right way. He recruits well, he develops well, and then they're always a sound team. So, from my perspective, it'll be a great challenge to go against a terrific team, and we know they'll be well coached.
National TV, obviously an added bonus for your guys. But also, sometimes that means little longer breaks, more breaks and stuff. So I don't know how you manage that. I don't know how that factors into the equation. You get guys on the sideline maybe a little bit more in between, series. But, how do you deal with stuff like that? A national TV game that will probably take 4 hours as opposed to 3.
Right. Yeah. No, I think for us, the exposure of it is worth whatever the commercials take because the kids love it. It'll be a great environment. We recruit nationally. Our team is represented nationally. So there are guys on this team that their parents are relying on, that exposure to be able to watch their son. So it's a great thing. It's an awesome thing for the league. It's an awesome thing for our program. It'll be an opportunity tomorrow. It's another layer of it. And, as far as keeping your legs loose during the timeout, that's the least of our worries. We'll be, as long as when they blow that whistle, we're ready to hit, we'll be fine.
Last thing for you, Coach. When you flipped on the film of their win over Georgetown, what did you see? We talked about their effective running game, obviously. How they look on the other side of the football.
Yeah, I think one of the things that they've done is recruit very well from the defensive line position. That will be a tremendous challenge for us. We've got a group of offensive linemen with some terrific senior leadership, guys like Chad Brum-Webster, Tucker Barnes, Tim Forster. These guys have worked really hard, and we've created some good depth on the offensive line. So kind of the matchup within the matchup will definitely be in those trenches. I think the strength of their defense, really, really talented, really deep, and the strength of our offense. So that'll be a good thing.
Let me ask you one quick question as we go. The battle of the trenches, today we talked offense and defense. Key to this game, in my mind, is special teams too. You can't forget that. And you're a coach, you know. Punting can change field position, good punt returns, good kick returns. I mean, it's going to have to be an encompassing football game as we go into Harvard.
Yeah, and I think actually the special teams was another thing when you watched it on Sunday that I was very happy with.
Yep.
One, from the penalty perspective, we executed at a very high level. We also, covered the ball very, very well.
Coverage was outstanding.
And we have a good punter.
Yep.
So, that was very uncharacteristic, those two punts. Very uncharacteristic. He's practiced well. He is a good punter. So, when Coach Jackson, our special teams coordinator, looked at that film, and I asked him, hey, give me one good clip, one bad clip kind of situation on Sunday. He was like, yeah, we covered really well. We worked really hard, and we're physical on special teams, and we're going to need to.
Yeah, that's what my point is. Special teams are so important.
Oh, and this week we're really going to need them.
Gotta go.
Because they're a very physical team. They got some good speed. So if you don't swing the game there, that'll really cost you in a game like tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that was an area. You talk about kick coverage, kick and punt coverage. I thought if anything, having almost 2 years off, that's an area where you might be a little rusty. And I was shocked at how well your guys covered.
Yeah, and just execute.
Yeah,
execute the scheme that we're asking them to do. It's a good group. We've hopefully taken another step, and all three phases, which includes special teams, are going to need to play well. And the week of practice that we've had, I'm confident in that.
And I got to say, Coach, you just mentioned it. Your fast play, the amount of players that you were rotating in at URI, there was a lot of guys going in and out of that game. I mean, more than what people would ever imagine.
Yeah, and we want them. We want them like that. When I say we're going to play 9 linemen, I mean we're going to play 9 linemen. And that's obviously not the norm. When I say we're going to play 8 wide receivers, that's we deliver. And when it comes to the special teams, those same guys that are the starters are fighting to get on those special teams. And because we play so many players, both offensively and defensively, that's exactly what Tim Weaver, our defensive coordinator, wants. He wants the starting corner to be on special teams. We want the starting wide receiver to be on special teams, and we're going to rotate through offensively and defensively and put more guys on the field. So holistically, that's the philosophy of the whole program.
All right, Coach, good luck tomorrow night against the Crimson. See you up at Harvard Stadium. That'll do it for the James Perry Show. Our thanks to our producer, Tyler Sock, back in our East Providence studios. And thanks to Becky, Jonathan, and Chris for producing our Facebook Live broadcast here at Hope Street Pizza. For the head coach of the Bears, James Perry, and John Anderson, my name is Scott Tradition. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
This has been a presentation of Learfield IMG College.